We not only share a passion for eating disorders, but a passion for dogs. So thank you, Noodle, for comforting your mom all these days, and welcome, Elizabeth. Anybody who knows me on Facebook, shout out to Noodle. Thank you. I'll be telling her. Welcome, mothers and others. Hello, DC! All right, I know that you're hot. I know that you guys are shady, so I'll make this quick, but please do pay attention. There are a couple points here that you might learn. And other than that, there's a lot of thanks going out to you. So this is really all about you, and I'm going to put my water here in case I have a Marco Rubio moment. So, good afternoon, mothers and others alike. As you've heard, my name is Elizabeth Wesley Casella, and I'm the founder of BingeBehavior.com, which is a website dedicated to support binge eating disorder, and I also advocate for the prevention of weight bias and weight stigma. It's really great to be here and to bear witness to the strength and the heartache and the power of recovery that threads through ED and the ED experience for those who care for and endure with us. For the mothers and the others, I'd like to say a humble and simple thank you on behalf of us. And I say us because I have an eating disorder, and like many of you, I find myself battling it every day. On good days, I exist in peace with my body and mind, and on bad days, I remind myself to hurry up and relax. As nutty as that may sound, it's actually very important. The idea is that I need to engage in self-care, whether it's a meditation or a walk or simply giving myself space before the need to turn to my ED behaviors takes hold. Because if I don't, I'll find myself staring in the mirror or obsessing about the calories I ate or the number that may have been on the scale. It may be a number inside my pants, my shirt, or my jacket, but numbers are never good for me to think about. Lest you think I'm speaking about anorexia or bulimia, let me just tell you that I'm talking about binge eating disorder. BED is the largest demographic of eating disorders that we don't hear anything about, affecting nearly 3 million men and 3.6 million women in America alone. The numbers are growing and shifting all the time because it was less than 2 years ago that BED got a place in the DSM-5, thanks to many of the advocates around here, one of which we are missing, Shavis Turner from BEDA. And doctors are actively starting to diagnose patients with this disorder. Also, since that time, people have just started learning about what might possibly be wrong with them, that they have an eating disorder and they're not just gluttonous, or that they have a lack of discipline that they're suffering from on their couch and in shame. They, like me a few years ago, have a little-known learning curve to latch onto, but the word is getting around that there is an eating disorder and it is treatable. We with BED are generally larger-bodied people, so while in the throes of self-discontent, we're also living the embodiment of our worst ED nightmares. We're fat. We can never escape from that thing we're running away from because of our ED. We're large, unacceptable bodies that are a target for bias and stigma, and for many of us cause us to be unsafe in the world. Because of hate speech, because of violence, because of jokes and discrimination, being fat is hard enough. Being fat while struggling with an ED is an exponentially more shame-filled experience. Now, don't get me wrong. You can't diagnose a person with BED by their size because binge eating disorder happens at every size of the spectrum. BED has a lot of commonalities with other eating disorders as well. It's a mental health issue. It's shame-filled and it's full of secrecy, and there are fear foods, there's body checking, there's restriction, there's malnourishment involved. It's all interwoven. Our organs shut down due to abuse just like every other eating disorder, and many of us have experienced critical organ failure due to the abuse we've subjected our bodies to. We die from this disorder as well. Being periodically filled with food doesn't mean that we're well nourished. Many of us are anemic and have amenorrhea. Many of us die because our bodies give out, and many more, like me, we try to take our lives because we're failed dieters. Up until recently, it was nouveau in the medical society to call us failed anorectics. For those of us stuck in a mental health crisis and hearing those words, they couldn't have expressed a failure to a deeper and more personal level. The good news is that there's treatment. The field of eating disorders treatment is growing larger and more diverse all the time. What used to be a research pool focused exclusively on anorexia and bulimia, we now have people making strides in orthorexia, exercise bulimia, BED, and more. Universities and treatment centers and support organizations are stepping up to support a demographic that has a wide variety of very specific needs, and they're working to address how best to support the nuances experienced at every stage and within every specialty. It's not uncommon for a person to have experienced multiple eating disorders or to have sublimated an eating disorder for an impulse control disorder as they've experienced a shift in their recovery. I'm happy to say that that information is widely accepted and research into how these behaviors work together is fully underway. On that note, I would be remiss if I didn't point out some very important work being done by Dr. Cynthia Bulick of the University of North Carolina's Center for Excellence in Eating Disorders. I hear at least one clap. I think she deserves a round of applause. Her work is shining a light not only on BED, but she is actively working on mapping the genetic component of anorexia and bulimia through programs in California and in Sweden. If you're interested in donating your blood to become part of this DNA research to put a stop to eating disorders, I encourage you to visit the ANGI or AN25K website. Please see me, Kathleen, or Joanna after the march, and we can give you the website information to get involved. But if you're good at remembering things, you can go to med.unc.edu and find it. And I see somebody over there. Go to that person. They know what they're talking about. But it's not just up to the research. It's also up to us to work at the 35,000-foot level to put an end to EDs and make it easier for those experiencing the struggle. This includes supporting you, family members, you who have to be the cop and the pillar of strength and the worrier and the parent and the sister and the brother and the father. We must make ED treatment coverage and support a key voting issue. We're in Capitol Hill. Let's talk about some voting. There are an estimated 35 million people in America with an eating disorder. That's 2 times the size of the entire state of Illinois, the state that our president comes from. If we all press our candidates to work on coverage, to push their colleagues in the right direction within committees, if we go to town hall meetings and ask questions about research appropriations at state and federal levels, we can and will make this one of the top priorities for members of Congress to have on their radar. But to be realistic, everybody's got a special interest group, and radars are short-lived. So we need to get the members to get it better and better all the time. We need to maintain our spot on that radar, and it will take relentless work by you through events like tomorrow's lobby day, and for the ED treatment, insurance, and research issues to have any traction. But you truly can make that a prerequisite to your member to know about before they ever start to warm that chair in the Cannon building, or the Longworth building, or the Dirksen building, or the Oval Office. Let me give you one bit of advice before I wrap up. I know you're all very hot. The crusade that I'm asking you to begin or continue, depending on how long you've been participating in events like this, is a frustrating and oftentimes maddening one. You'll run across people who don't understand your experiences and who don't have any compassion for the work that you've done or the misery you've overcome. They may be ignorant, they may have misaligned values, and some of them are like the trolls we encounter online, and they are simply cruel. So knowing that, I'd like you to do something really quick. Both of my nations of people over here. If you don't mind, please take a look around and seriously look at the person on your left and on your right. If you can, take their hand. And if you're feeling really into it, give them a hug. I love the fact that we're a community of huggers. Now sit here for a minute and drink in that feeling. Drink in the camaraderie and the support and the compassion, and take it with you. When you run into that person who simply won't see things your way, or who spitefully disconnects your experiences as hysterical, or too touchy-feely, or not high enough priority, please remember what you just experienced. Remember that. Know that you're not crazy, that you are not hopeless, and that there's another person who will talk to you and who will work with you and who does understand. For every brick wall and every deaf ear, there's an audience waiting for you that you haven't found yet, and when you get there, they will celebrate. So keep up the good work. Stay in a place of compassion, build bridges whenever you can, and if anybody needs a hug, I'll be right over there.